Hey everyone, it's Shel from Scrap Secrets and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I was inspired by a stamp that I saw when I was looking for new products, and this is it here. I loved how there was images with words around it. I was going to put it in my cart, and then I thought to myself, wait a second, I have background stamps, I have sentiment stamps, and I have image stamps. I can recreate this. So I'm going to show you two ways to get the same exact effect without buying new products and extending the life of your supplies. So this is really great to do if you have limited supplies and you want to try to stretch them, or if you don't want to buy anymore, or like me, you do want to buy but you don't really want to buy. This is a great way to go ahead and use your products in a different way. So I picked 3 images from Mama Elephant's Shall We Dance stamp set, stamped them onto a piece of white cardstock. We are going to be doing a mini slimline card, so that measures 3.5 by 6. So it's about it's either an eighth or a quarter of an inch smaller on that white panel. I used a scrap piece of cardstock to go ahead and stamp those same images on there and cut them out so that I could make masks. I used Zig 2-way glue pen. If you guys don't know how to use that as a mask, it's actual glue, so when you put the glue on, it's blue and it will be permanent. If you let it dry for a couple of minutes, it turns white and it's repositionable, so it's great for making masks. You don't need any special type of masking paper, anything like that. You can just use scrap paper. I generally use copy paper because I usually have a few pieces in the craft room. I did go ahead and color this off screen and then put the masks on once the the glue became repositionable. And now we're going to get to the technique part. Oh, I'm picking a couple different colors of Concord and Ninth ink. This is Sea Glass. I have Oceanside, Ballet Slippers. Can't remember, it's honeysuckle maybe, I think is the color, the darker pink. And then there's a purple of Concord and Ninth, and then there's a purple from Simon Hurley. Now, if I had to redo this, what I would do was the third color, which is Ballet Slippers. It's really, really pretty, but really light. So when you saw the pictures, that part stood out a little bit because it was so much lighter. I wish I had noticed it before I had taken the stamp out and moved it, and I would have picked another shade of pink to go ahead and stamp. But again, if I had to do this over again, that's what I would do. So while you were watching me stamp this all out, I thought that I would give you guys a little bit of an update. I am doing the Countdown to Christmas series. It starts this Friday. Very excited about it. The intro video dropped last Friday. There's a surprise. I am doing it with my friend Marie from Marie's Vermont Creations. I've done 4 or 5 videos now for the series, and it's been so much fun. She and I sat down and came up with 25 different themes, techniques, supplies to use, things like that, and just kind of put them in the randomizer, and now we have 25 days of card making ideas or project making ideas, because they're not necessarily all cards. Which, again, if you are getting ready for the holidays, for craft shows, for things like that, I think you're going to love this series. I believe it's the 5th year that I've done it. There will be giveaways and prizes, so make sure you guys are subscribed to both Marie and myself and check out the videos starting the first, like I said, the intro video has already been out. It'll be right before this, and then this series will start. I also have my old series on there for the past however many years I've been doing this. I think it's been 5. So I do have other Countdown to Christmas videos if you want to go back and look and see, kind of gear up for the Christmas season. If you're looking for Christmas ideas, there's a lot out there on my channel. So I would love if you guys subscribed and participated, and I love to read everybody's comments on the projects. Commenting is probably the best way that you can interact with YouTubers. I love reading your comments, and I try to get back to everybody. So that is what's upcoming. Have some trips coming up. Have some work. They're all work trips. And so that's really exciting. There's a lot of stuff that's going on at work. It's a little bit stressful because it's in the season. If you guys don't know, I work for a nut company, and Q4 is our crazy time. So I'm learning, I'm planning for next year, and also in the midst of a crazy season. I am learning a ton at work and really enjoying it, but things are a little bit crazy. So that's kind of why I'm a little bit ahead for the Countdown to Christmas series. So, all right, now back to the card. Now I used eggplant and then one of the colors from Simon Hurley. I think it might have been triple berry. I don't remember. So hopefully I showed the cap in there while I was talking. So now I'm going to carefully remove all of the masks from the images and look at the effect that you get. Minus the light pink, I love the way this turned out. I think it looks very similar to the stamp set. Obviously that was a Christmas one, but I think it looks very similar to the stamp set that I had looked at purchasing. Now we're going to go ahead and do a background for the second one. So this is the other way you can do this technique. So I'm using a background stamp from MFT, and because this is a mini slimline card, it's longer than the actual piece of cardstock. I could have made it a little bit smaller, but I decided not to. I'm going to just go ahead and stamp in 2 different places, lining it up to the best that I can. Obviously, it's not going to be perfect. If I stamped this in my Misty, it would have been, but I have stamps in there because one of the cards that I'm doing for the Christmas series, I'm going to remake it and do kind of a mass production on it because I love the way it came out and it was pretty quick. So you can see I did this one and there are some spots missing, which is fine because if you go back to the original stamp set, there definitely were breaks in the background. So I'm using just a blending brush to go around the edges and add a little bit of that color to it, just to kind of pull that color in. I think it looked better. This was kind of more of a distressed look versus the other one. I'm going to use a stamp and die set from Honeybee Stamps to create the images on the front of the card. So I picked out the letters for the word Mary because this is going to a woman that had a request in the From the Heart Facebook group. And if you guys are unfamiliar with that, it is a group over on Facebook where you can request cards for someone 60 or above for their birthday, anniversary, get well, encouragement, etc. Sometimes people are just, people will post that so-and-so loves to just get mail if anybody wants to send them stuff. I love creating cards for people over there. It makes me feel good. It also gives me a reason to create videos and come up with different techniques, but it also gives me a place to send my cards. I have so many that are just sitting around the house from videos that I've done, and at least this way I make sure that they get sent out and someone hopefully brightens up somebody's day. If you're interested, I will leave the link to the Facebook group below in the more information section. If you guys are card makers and really want to help out, this is a fantastic way to help out and give back because a lot of them will post thank yous on there, or they'll post, if someone has posted for a senior, they'll post pictures of the cards or the person with the cards, and people talk about how much it really impacts somebody's day. And it just is a feel-good thing to do. So if you have cards lying around the house, if you're a card maker, I highly recommend that you join the group and send the cards out to people instead of doing like I did and just have a bunch sitting there. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and use these coordinating dies to cut out the letters for here. And I'm running them through my Bitty Buzz Cutter, which is absolutely adorable. I don't know, I don't know how I lasted without this thing. I do love my Big Shot, but this is so adorable and it's so cute. I can keep it on my desk and I don't even have to get up to cut out the letters. So once those are all secured on there, I will run the second piece of scrap paper through and cut out the R and the Y, and we're going to get ready to assemble the card. So the first way that we recreated the stamp was through masking. The second way was stamping the background stamp down and then putting the images over top of it. And because these images have a little bit of a border around the edges, it looks very similar to the original one because it wasn't stamped up to each of the cookies. There was kind of a little border around it. So this kind of, you can do it either way. I am using my Bearly Art glue to go ahead and glue these down. It puts a nice fine line of glue down on the back of these so you don't have glue seeping out the sides. It's really great. It's very, very fine line. I have trouble with the dexterity in my hands, and I don't have any trouble squeezing this glue out. I know one of the big things is like that My Sweet Petunia glue gun, but I don't seem to have problems with my hands. So okay, so these pieces of white paper were cut down to 1/4 of an inch smaller than the card front. And then I'm using the other color's card base for the border around it. So I'm using a teal border on the Mary one, and then it's on a pink card base. And then I already glued the other one together, so it's the opposite. It's a teal card base with some pink on the back of it because they were coordinating colors. So there's the 2 cards for today. I hope that you enjoyed this technique. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions, and I will see you guys again real soon for another video. Bye!